There are many eco-villages around the world. They are planned communities where people live in tight-knit co-housing with a focus on green living. But what is an eco-village? Liz Walker, a founding member of EcoVillage at Ithaca, shared the mission of her eco-village.
Our primary mission has been to create a type of demonstration community that can show the world an alternative way of life that meets human needs for shelter, for energy, for food, for livelihood, for social connection in a way that doesn't destroy the planet. We have state-of-the-art energy-efficient buildings that are up to the highest building standards in the world. At least 7 of them are certified as Passive House, which is an extremely high standard. They're LEED Platinum, and some of them come in at net zero energy, which means that they actually produce more energy than they use for heating, lighting, appliances, everything.
According to Liz, residents of the eco-village in Ithaca use 63% less resources than the average American. Every resident gets power from the solar panels and solar arrays on eco-village land. They cut emissions by sharing washing machines, parking lots, meals, and land. But one of the most important aspects is living in
the community. I was really impressed with the way people work together. The first meeting I went to was fairly tense, and instead of being put off by that, I thought, oh, these people are dealing in reality. They're actually struggling with things that are meaningful to them.
For Karen, community living was the reason she moved here. She wanted to live around neighbors that wanted to get to know her, and EcoVillage offered that.
The place that I lived in Rochester was a lovely apartment in a 7-unit old house, but I didn't know any of my neighbors. I was heading towards 70 at that point, and I felt like I need to have people who know whether I'm alive.
Living around people you know is a good reason to live somewhere. But just knowing your neighbors isn't what sustains an eco-village.
Oh, it's definitely a commitment to be in such a close space with other people. I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned from being here in terms of your movements and how you behave in the space. You have to take into consideration a lot of people.
This eco-village has over 90 units now. That seems like a lot to me. That seems like more people than you can get to know well.
In eco-village, people are very much it's like little townhouses, and restricting noise, I like playing my drums, and I've really stopped playing drums at all. And I like gatherings, but I feel the pressure of not wanting to disturb other people, and so I've really not had gatherings.
Living in a community like EcoVillage means you have to make decisions and work together. You have to respect the people you live with and solve conflicts. EcoVillage at Ithaca is very big, and it seems too big to many residents. Yet many people still come together and act as members of a community.
One of the real strongholds that I've seen, that I've experienced, appreciating on several occasions, is being on the receiving end of help when I needed it because of a medical emergency. The day we moved in 20 years ago, I had bronchial pneumonia, and I ended up in hospital a couple of days later for 10 days or so, and I had a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old, and the community really pitched in to cook meals for the family and help babysit and look after and come visit me with several people every day.
For Julia, living in a community meant that she could get help at a very hard time. The community aspect may not be easy, but it can be very rewarding. In a community, you can make lasting relationships.
Many people feel very isolated in their nuclear families. Many nuclear families have fallen apart. We have different kinds of blended families, but often that's not enough to satisfy people's need for connection with others. And we're very connected with our computers and our cell phones, but we don't have as much daily connection with other people. So people are longing for that, they're looking for that. And I think that in order to really have long-term sustainability, people need to learn how to live together better and how to resolve conflicts, how to learn from each other.
When Liz first took me on a tour of the land, I realized that just about every project that I could conceive for myself for the rest of my life, I could actually make happen on this piece of land.
For people who move here and live here, the future is very much on their mind. For Aidan Hodges, growing up here helped him realize his future of wanting to create a farm directly connected to a restaurant.
Lots of people. I think that the agricultural aspect of my life would not have surfaced without coming here, because it was all that exposure and like living in a place that has multiple community gardens and that kind of thing that really like set it off for me. But it's a different thing when you come here and you see like really everybody around you sort of trying to like grow beautiful things and have healthy produce.
For a place like EcoVillage at Ithaca to exist, there has to be people committed to building a better future. EcoVillage is growing, and it's showing what committed community living can do.
Every time we take another step, the vision gets a little bit more robust. But I'd say overall, the vision has been very much realized, and now we're trying to ramp up the educational programs to actually tell the world more about what we're doing and the pluses and the minuses, and be the kind of educational organization that was first intended to kind of provide feedback to the world on our experiment.
The whole reason we started this place was to help change the world, and this is a pivotal time to help change the world.
Looking ahead in a troubled world, riding the train with a beautiful girl, and everything changes.